I'm super excited about this episode. Number one, I'm going back to New York City. Number two, the reason I'm going is to get my essential, most favorite pieces of camera gear that were left there when we left the city in mid-March. I'm going to show you all my gear along the way, and I love talking about camera gear. All right, now as many of you may know, before I was a real estate agent based in New York City, I was a professional filmmaker. So when I decided to produce my own real estate vlog, I had about 20 years worth of filmmaking experience to call on. Now, I knew I was going to produce this vlog all by myself, and no help with shooting or editing. So I needed to really simplify my gear setup, but I didn't want to sacrifice quality. I spent a lot of time selecting the most perfect camera gear. Now, most of my gear was left in my apartment in New York City, and I haven't seen it since mid-March. Today, I'm driving back to Queens to get my gear. I want you to come along for the ride. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my personal secret for producing consistently high-quality professional videos that you can do all by yourself. Now, what camera you shoot with does not really dictate how good of a movie maker you are, truth be told. Let's just say that. A good filmmaker can make a great film with an iPhone, and I've seen them done. That being said, I do not shoot most of my films on an iPhone. I try to avoid it, as a matter of fact. Now, there's 3 reasons I don't want to use an iPhone as my filmmaking camera. Number one is the battery life, and for that reason alone, it almost eliminates it as a serious possibility. iPhones have horrible battery life. They're dying all the time, and I can't have my camera dying in the middle of a shoot that I've, sometimes went to considerable effort to set up. I just can't have it. Number two is there's something that iPhones are really good at, and that's making phone calls, receiving texts, and going on social media. I need it for that. I'm a real estate agent. I have clients calling me. I have people texting me. A lot of these are, this is my primary business. So if I'm in the middle of the shoot and all of a sudden the phone rings, I need to pick it up. This could be important. So I don't need my camera, I don't need my phone tied up being my camera. So I like to keep that separation. And number three is the lens. Once you start to zoom in, I've noticed the picture really does fall apart and doesn't really look that good. So I prefer to use a really professional zoom lens. So that's my personal opinion. If you choose to use an iPhone, that's great. You can get some good stuff. I try to shy away from it. When I first started this real estate vlog, I knew that I was going to have to seriously reconfigure my whole filmmaking system. I'm used to very small documentary crews, but a crew nonetheless. So I'm used to working with a DP, a sound man, and usually 1 or 2 additional assistants. We're usually going to shoot with Blackmagic cameras or Canon C300s or Red cameras. So we're talking $20,000 to $70,000 worth of camera gear that we would typically go out with. Obviously, that's not possible when I'm doing a single person shooter DIY vlog. I'm gonna be shooting everything myself. There's gonna be no help, nobody helping me run all this expensive gear. So I needed a piece of equipment that will allow me to do that all myself. So I did a bunch of research and I found what I think is the best camera for single person DIY vlogging, and that is the Canon 6D Mark II. I think that's the best for a couple of reasons. Number one, it has great quality. It's full frame HD, which means you're getting a 1920 by 1080 image out of it. It's nice and compact. It has really good, really quick autofocus, and it has a flip out LCD monitor that you can turn around and I can see myself, I can see what's going on. It has facial recognition, so it'll always recognize my face and keep a focus on my face. It also has a really nice lens that I purchased with it separately. I got the 24 to 105 ISSTM lens. That's the widest aperture on that is 3.5. So it's not a super fast lens, but it's still pretty good. I love the focal length. 24 is really wide enough to get an interior shot. I can do apartment interiors. I can do great exterior architectural shots with that. And then I can also zoom all the way into 105 to get close-up details, to get cityscapes, to get buildings across the river, stuff like that. So I really love the range there. So what's the cost, you ask? How much does a camera like that cost? Okay, the Canon 6D Mark II with the 24 to 105 lens that I just talked about, plus a couple of accessories, an extra battery, an extra SD card. It's gonna set you back about $1,600 for the whole system. To me, that's a worthwhile investment. That's a camera that I pick up practically every day. I shoot all my vlog stuff on that. I also shoot a lot of my photography on that. I shoot landscapes, I shoot architectural. If I get a listing, I'm gonna go and shoot the listing on that. I really do use it for everything. So totally worthwhile, okay? That's it for cameras. Let's head on into Queens and look at some more gear. I got it waiting for me there in my apartment. Oh, and you know the deal. I'm a real estate agent based in New York City, but I'm currently quarantined in the Catskills. I produce a new video once a week about my life, my community, and the real estate market in New York City. Press that subscribe button and press that little bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Thanks, guys. Here we are, back home after 2 months. Let's go get some gear. Okay, so here we are. This is my little equipment shelf in my Queens apartment. And this is what I've really been missing over the last couple of months. My GoPros. This is my GoPro kit. I have 3 GoPros in here. And these have really become like a critical, essential piece of equipment that I'm using to make my YouTube videos. So I have my GoPro kit and my GoPro grip kit. And I'm gonna show you both of these. I love these things. Okay, here we are, my GoPro kits. I'm gonna try to do this really quick, guys, because I kind of realized that I could do a whole episode on my GoPros. Here's a set of 3 GoPros. I shoot with the GoPro Hero 7 Blacks. I have 2 of them. They're the newest GoPros. When I bought them in 2019, I think there's a newer model now, but a lot of the great features that they put in the Hero 7 Black, particularly the stabilization, were really huge improvements for GoPro. So I have 2 Hero 7 Blacks, and then I have a Hero 7 Silver, and then I have a bunch of batteries. That's my advice to you if you're gonna go with GoPros. Just get a bunch of batteries. That's true with any digital cameras. They all eat through batteries really quick. And then here I have, and I'll come back to the image stabilization in 1 second because it's really important. This is my GoPro grip kit. So the great thing about GoPros is they're so small and compact that you can really grip them anywhere. So I have a bunch of tools that I've assembled to grip my GoPros to a bunch of different spots. These are my bicycle clamps, okay? I have 2 of these to clamp on my bicycle. I did a whole tour of the Lower East Side on my bicycle. I had 3 GoPros gripped to my bicycle, and it was great. I got all these different angles. These are just handles, okay? You grip your GoPro to this little handle, and you can walk around with it. These GoPros have incredible image stabilization in it. If I'm doing an apartment tour, whether it's an interior or an exterior, architectural, anything like that, this is how I do it. And this image stabilization in this little camera is so good that it really looks like I hired a professional Steadicam guy. The other thing about this little setup is it really doesn't get flagged by security people as professional photography equipment. So I've gotten away with shooting in a lot of places like the Noguchi Museum in Queens or the Costco or any of these places that don't technically allow professional photography. They would make you jump through a whole bunch of hoops to get permission to do a shoot there. It would take weeks and you'd probably get a no in the end. So I just go in with my little GoPro and I'm just very innocent and innocuous, and I do my shoot that way, and they just think, oh, it's a tourist. So it's great for that. Okay, so the last thing I want to say about the GoPros is you can do time-lapse footage on the GoPro. You can get really good time-lapse footage. But that requires having the camera in its location for a long time. You're gonna do a time-lapse over 12, 24, 48 hours. But the great thing about the GoPros is that they're so small and innocuous that I have actually left them in public spaces for very long periods of times, and they're fine. Now, what I did do, and this is also part of my grip kit here, is I created this little system. You see, these are metal bands that I got at Home Depot. And then I have a system of wires and little locks, okay, that I can actually go and attach my GoPro in public spaces. I did this in Queensboro Plaza subway station, which is a very busy subway station. I gripped one of these GoPros to a pole and did a 24-hour long time-lapse capture in the Queensboro Plaza subway station with it, you know, wrapped up with this little wire and locked up. Now, you know, if somebody came along with bolt cutters, they could cut it off, but who has a pair of bolt cutters on them in Queensboro Plaza? And I've totally gotten away with it. I did it at Queensboro Plaza subway station. I've done it several times at the top of the Z Hotel. Thank you, Z Hotel guys. So I get these great time-lapse videos with this, and I just, you know, kind of lock it down, and I haven't lost one yet. So these are my GoPros. I love them very much. They're great filmmaking tools, and they really allow me to create all that extra stuff, that kind of added value to my videos, that give it a little something special. The time lapses, the crazy angles, you know, the shooting from a side of a boat, all that sort of stuff done with the GoPros. All right? All right, that's my trip. Now, before I sign off, I told you guys that I was gonna give you my secret weapon for making great, high quality DIY videos all by yourself. And that secret weapon is audio. Have great audio. Now listen, having great video is great. Having bad video is still good, but having bad audio basically just ruins the whole experience. People can't hear you, they can't understand you, and basically they're just gonna click on to the next video. You're gonna lose your audience that way. So today I'm gonna show you a couple of my favorite tools to have great audio on my videos. Number one, I'm using right now. I'm gonna have to take it off and probably switch to the other audio to show you, because it's gonna get a little noisy maybe. But this right here is called a lavalier microphone that you can clip onto your clothing or your subject's clothing. I have just a single lav mic attached right at my hip to this Zoom F1 field recorder. It's a little tiny field recorder, and this right here is recording what's coming out of this microphone. It's all contained, it just sits on my hip. When I need it to record, I press record and it records. There's an additional tool that I use to have great audio. And it's kind of a duplicate tool. It's almost a backup for the lavalier mic, but at the same time, it captures more of the ambient sound. And sometimes you want to mix in a lot of the ambient sound. Right now, you can maybe hear the birds chirping and some cows off in the distance because we're in the country right now. But if I'm in the city, you might want to get all those cityscape sort of sounds to kind of mix in. So you want something that's going to pick up ambient sounds. So I have this microphone. It's a shotgun microphone. It goes right on top of my camera and plugs in to my microphone input on my camera via this little input jack. This is the Rode Video Mic 2. This is just a windscreen that goes over it. I can take that off so you can see the microphone a little better. The company that makes it is Rode, right there. It's called the Video Mic 2, I believe. And it's just a really good high quality shotgun mic that is made for DSLR cameras. It fits right on top of my camera and plugs in. And like I said, great ambient sound, but also it's a duplicate backup in case my lavalier fails for some reason. So those are my two pieces of audio gear. I love my Rode Video Mic 2, and I love my Zoom F1 field recorder connected to a wired lavalier microphone. So that's it, guys. That's my tutorial on my favorite equipment for making DIY single-person shooter videos. I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer more questions on this. I can kind of expand on certain subjects. I am going to put a list down there of all my personal gear that I'm using right now. It's just an informational list for you. Use it as a guide. You don't have to get the exact stuff I got, but I think it'll be a good guide for you. So have fun making videos, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.